Hello everyone, if you follow me on my main channel, Bible Illustrated, this video will be essentially in the same tone as the Gloater of Notre Dame. And if you haven't seen that video, essentially, it was made as a response for Orthodox Christians who dismissed or even, sadly, rejoiced over the fact that the Cathedral of Notre Dame burned down. Essentially saying, well, it's a heretical church, good riddance. I would like to emphasize here that this stance is, I don't even want to say minority opinion, it's a tiny molecule of people who would even dare say or think such a thing. I will preface this video with a story, and this video is about the suicide prevention hotlines in the United States getting basically blocked for all of the distress calls by different members of LGBTQ community over Trump's election victory. So the story goes like this. This is a real event, so me calling it a story may imply that it didn't really happen and I'm sharing a parable. No, this really happened. I was going to a place. I'm going to intentionally keep the place and other participants, anonymous. When I heard some shouting from the room where I was supposed to go. And I heard one of my friends shouting, and that guy kept shouting, "Where's my dinar? Where's my dinar?" Dinar being Serbian currency. And at that time, dinar was equal to United States penny, maybe tad more above it, but that today definitely is below it. So a really low amount of money. So I come and I see my other friend comforting that first friend. So what happened? The first friend came to a grocery store and he bought some items, and the person who worked at the cash register didn't have a dinar to return to my friend as a change. And it's practically, standard, as I believe everywhere, that if you don't have spare change, they will sort of ignore it. But also when the people at the cash register, when they don't have spare change to give you like pennies or in our case dinars, they also won't give you, because they'll just say something, oh, I'll owe it to you, you'll owe it to me, but nothing ever comes of it. And I would say that in the end it's all sorts of evens out. However, my friend who went through some issues was furious over this dinar. It's like somebody insulted his mother in the worst possible way. And while I may think that the whole affair is ridiculous, his pain is real, even though it comes from completely subjective reasons. His pain is absolutely real and is objective. Why am I saying all of this? There are a lot of people celebrating Trump's victory. Even though in my previous video I stated that I'm pro-Trump, and I've stated my reasons why I'm pro-Trump, I would never call myself like a Trump fan or something. I do realize why people oppose him, and I agree with a lot of those reasonings as well, and I simply consider him a lesser evil. And I'm simply glad that he won. I essentially, from my part, being a Serb living in Serbia and having no pretensions so far to move to the United States, I've simply seen the elections as entertainment. I found them very entertaining. I like the memes and everything. However, that is not how the majority of people in the United States and worldwide have seen it, because every American election is the most important election because it sends shockwaves one way or the other across the entire world. There were, of course, because I'm relatively active on X, former Twitter, there were threads and threads of people having meltdowns, people making these sort of hasty promises, generally women, like we should cut our hair, we should stop having sex with men, and sort of, force them into complying with our ideological stance and so on. However, the most extreme form of this is that there were members of LGBTQ plus community who, not all of them, of course, but a substantial amount from what I could see, that had a lot of mental anguish, even up to the point of wanting to kill themselves. By the way, one of the reasons I'm not using those euphemisms like unalive, because I generally find them very in poor taste and annoying, and I won't let algorithm influence my language. I won't talk like an idiot. Again, if you use this, I don't think you're an idiot, but I find it very off-putting, especially when we talk about something as serious like this. I really don't want to sort of demean someone's life by saying that they unalive themselves. So I will simply call it what it is, a suicide. A friend of mine, she's a therapist, and while she did not follow the American elections at all and simply had no interest, she did have concerns over Trump's victory, because she said that a lot of her friends who are therapists say that they had concerns if Trump won over, mental health in the United States taking a hit, and people on occasion not being able to deal with it by ending their life, for example. And I've seen threads like this, and you have people who actually wanted to kill themselves, you had people who had meltdowns. I want to say a couple of things here regarding the meltdowns. However you may want to express your dissatisfaction with the election results, and I'm saying this to people who are pro-Trump, but whatever the next elections your side loses, never record a meltdown. Never. Let it simmer for a week, because internet is forever. You will be dragged by people who think that they can do anything because it's online. And if you're taking a bad hit because of the election results, imagine what will happen if you post this and then you come people mocking you. And I'm saying this as the most honest to God loving advice to preserve your own mental well-being, because you will be in a vulnerable spot and you just might suffer tremendously because of it. To quote Teddy Patrick, my online mutual friend, there is something exceedingly poisonous for the soul in rejoicing at watching meltdowns. Now, of course, a lot of people are happy with the election results, and they see this as sort of a vindication of their stances of being put down for 4 years, being called Nazis, and all these sorts of nonsense. And it's okay at rejoicing at and having this sort of courteous debate with others, even though sometimes the tone might be that sharp, but never like name calling, demeaning, and so on and so forth. However, when people actually say that they think to kill themselves, or they claim that people around them think about it, take a very measured approach how you will approach this. There's this Christian cartoonist, I think his name is Adam Ford. I generally really love his comics. However, he's really into penal substitution, and I hate that. However, he made a great comic about abortion. Like, imagine you're driving a car and there's a cardboard box on the road. and there might be a human child in it, there might not be. Will you run over the box even if it's sort of easy to get around? And his argument is, you might say that fetus isn't a human being, but will you take the risk of possibly killing a child? And I think that's the argument here. The person claiming that they want to kill themselves, or no other people who claim to want to kill themselves, they might be fishing for pity, but they might not, you know? And that's a tremendous risk for you to take on your soul if you mock these sort of people. There is this verse in Proverbs. It's Proverbs 24, verses, I believe it's 17, 18. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, let your heart not be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord be displeased with you and take his anger away from him, from your enemy. When we gloat over our enemies, regardless of who they are, we're demeaning the image of Christ, of that image of God that person is made in. That person, Christ died for that person just as much as he died for you. And he wants to draw those people to themselves. And what will they think of Christians when Christians gloat like ghouls over them when they're at their weakest? Again, their pain might be completely subjective, but it is still just as real. I wanted to say something else in that regard. There are so many things I wanted to say, and now all of them simply vanished. Maybe it's because I simply had everything that I essentially wanted to say. But yeah, we shouldn't gloat. We need to take our example from our Lord. When our Lord rose from the dead, he appeared to a whole lot of people. Do you know to whom he didn't appear? He didn't appear to the Sanhedrin, you know? He didn't appear to the high priest and then like, meh, and disappear. Our Lord is not a gloater, because our Lord knows what that does to a soul, of both the gloater and the one who's being gloated at, you know? I believe that at least the Orthodox online community, especially centered around X, should literally make a phylactery and, you know, tie it around their head, and there should be a verse in that phylactery that goes, and he who says "you fool" to his brother will be in danger of hellfire. I believe that's Matthew 5, but you know the verse that I mean. These are very dangerous things, because when we say these things, we deny other people's humanity and their reality as existing humans, you know, and it causes damage to us, but more importantly, it damages them and their future possible, and in some cases, very probable relationship with Christ. To quote St. Paul, you know, because of you, the name of Christ is blasphemed against the Gentiles. And again, this does not mean or condone in any way, shape, or form the sinful lives that these ideologies, these people proclaim, you know, in no way, shape, or form. But there is a time and place that we can simply say, you're wrong because of this, this, and this, and leave it at that. No name calling, no posting memes, especially when somebody sadly takes the wrong approach of venting to audience on X. And that's why X is so dangerous. Like, if I vent on Facebook, it will be seen primarily by people that I know in person, or sort of generally, but on X, no, it's literally made that you will be exposed to an indeterminate number of people. I simply wanted to share some of my thoughts. Again, there is a time that there is, you know, space and occasion for argument. However, when somebody is at their wit's end, despite this being caused by echo chambers, lies, because let's be honest, a lot of these meltdowns are caused by pure, simple lies that people will be put in cages, that there will be denied, medical aid, or that they'll be denied their human dignity rights. This is all nonsense. There is a modicum of truth in this, but it's blown up so much out of proportion that sadly a lot of these people honestly believe that tomorrow the United States will be turned into United Tales of the Handmaids, and I think that's sad, because it causes so much unnecessary suffering, And again, I know that this is a given, but I believe that a lot of this comes from complete lack of dialogue. We've separated ourselves into this Trump, Kamala, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democratic, Christian, non-Christian, and then again within Orthodox Christian, non-Orthodox Christian, and so on and so forth. That we don't allow the other side to speak and to share their side of the story, and vice versa. And I don't mean in order, to convince us, but simply that we would see from their vantage point what's the issue, in order to understand them. And again, this is a given. This is for all people, and this is a general problem. And I think we could see in the debates in the United States, the presidential debates, but I think this is worldwide, this degradation of the art of dialogue, because there's like name calling, and again, this is a lot of this is Trump's fault. I do believe that I haven't seen the second debate with Kamala, but Biden, with all of his issues with dementia, I think he was definitely more of a gentleman in that debate, even though, again, Trump was more entertaining, and that might have contributed in a lot of ways to him winning the election. So yeah, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. Tomorrow I might make a video on people unsubscribing me over me supporting Trump, even though, again, this isn't something that defines me personally. Ultimately, I don't really care. For me, it would come and go, and that's it. But I hope to see you guys very soon again. Bye.